are your thoughts on that game today?
Oh, it weren't the prettiest, that. Sort of some of the stuff that we've struggled with all season, really. Making errors in our own half, and then it was sort of a really slowish type of game, where there was just no ruck speed really for either team. So I mean, they made 2 breaks through 1 player who ran straight through us a couple of times, and then the only really time they looked threatening were the 2 kicks they scored off. But we were equally the same. Obviously everyone knows it's a tight pitch, so if it's a really slow game added to the tight pitch, you do struggle a little bit, and we've struggled at that this season, to score points and try to create stuff. We set off okay, scored a couple of nice ones, and then like I say, there were a period there where we just couldn't get out of his own half, and that gave them the position to put the attacking kicks in. Second half, it was just a bit of a grubby affair from both teams, but we found a way back in, and then we were probably thankful we've got the 2 old boys that just combined for the 1-pointer, and then obviously the try around the hooter as well. So yeah, we've become quite good at losing those type of games in the time I've been here, so it was nice to come on the right side of one.
Right, Tom, I can see you've already started the end of season celebrations there. That was your final game at Dewsbury before you move on to Hull KR next season. How do you reflect on your time here at Dewsbury?
Difficult question that. Don't know how to put it into words. Dewsbury is always going to be my first professional club. They're always going to be the ones that gave me my shot at playing professionally. There's nothing else to say than that. It's always your first club. Do you know what I mean? It's always your first club. It's always your home. Hopefully I play for another 10 years, and then in 10 years time, if I don't play here in the meantime, this is the place I'm going to reflect back on. This is the place I'm going to look back at. These are the fans I want to look back at, who have had me back, who had me back in the time off as well, and who had me back when I came back as well, and have been nothing but supportive the entire time I've been here. I can't really say anything else apart from that, to be honest.
Yeah, when you came here a couple of seasons ago, when you signed, could you imagine that a couple of years later you'd be signing for a Super League team?
No, I couldn't. I don't think I was trying to top up how many games I've played, and I've not reached 50 yet. I think I'm somewhere around 40. When I first came in on trial, it was just about getting a contract. It was just about getting to the team, and for me, the way I look at stuff, it's always about looking at the next game. It's always about playing the next game. It's always about that week's training. I don't really always look at the bigger picture. It's always looking at your short-term goals, and I think that's probably what served me well. There's been some times this year, especially after doing a lot of minutes, where I've gone into a game already not on my best. I know that, but I've always just looked at, right, just get through this game and give it your best, and I think that's probably what's served me well quite a bit. To be fair.
I remember when you first signed for Dewsbury, we did you an interview, and you said that you thought you'd be playing at Siddle for the rest of your career.
Yeah, not that I thought I would be. It was more just I was prepared for that to happen. I was more than happy to do that. I was more than happy to play for my amateur club with all the people that I grew up with, for all the people that I know so well. And then just, I don't know, you just do your best and things happen. And then this Dewsbury's almost turned out like another Siddle for me, where it's kind of my home. It's just another place where I love being. It's another group of people that I love being around, and it's always just, I feel like I've done similar to what I did at Siddle, where I'm just trying to concentrate on doing the best I can at the time, and then everything that comes is everything that comes. And I know I leave the club in a good place. I feel like I'll leave it in a better place than when I arrived, kind of thing, which sits really well with me.
Yeah, I think that you become a bit of a fan's favourite, but I think that's because people can see that you put the effort in on the field. That probably goes along with the 6 awards that you cleaned up on presentation night other night. Have you got any words for Dewsbury supporters?
Just thank you. I don't know what else to say to them apart from honestly, I don't know how to put it into words how grateful I am of them. I know maybe with the clubs there might have been not as much support as when I said I wanted to take some time off, and they were all like, all the fans as far as I could see were saying there's some things that are more important than rugby, and they were right. And then I had some very good friends in the team, most notably Joe Martin, who really not that he wanted me to play in this, like just to play, so it bettered his team, but he wanted to play with me because he was my friend. He knew that I was wasting my talent maybe, and then Lee Greenwood was very supportive in trying to get me back in the team. And then I know as soon as I came back, the fans were right behind me. And one of the things I quite often say to lads is effort is the thing that's respected by your teammates, it's the thing that's respected by the fans, so I just hope that my efforts is what's respected by the fans, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So Adam, third win on the bounce today, 100th career appearance. How did you see that game today? What were your thoughts on it?
It was a tough game. Oldham, they've played, I watched, because I was injured at the time, but I watched Dewsbury play Oldham away, and they're a different team to when they played them away, so they've played a bit, unfortunately they're relegated already, but they've played a bit today. They've played with a bit of, nothing to lose. So it was a tough game, and they made it really hard for us to win. Left it to the last 5-10 minutes. So yeah, I'm happy with the 100th career appearance. Happy with a couple of tries, but Oldham made it really tough for us.
Yeah, 100th career performance. How do you think you've improved from your first appearance to today?
Tough question. That one, no. It was. It's just knowledge of the game, the little things. I was a bit green, even though I was 27 when I made my debut at Keighley. I was, came from a rugby union background. Played a lot of amateur rugby league, but it was a bit green. Just knowing what to do at the times, and it's just game management. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough season and stop-start. You were out for a while. Players coming in, players dropping out. How's it been in the team this season? Like the whole feeling in the dressing room. How's that been?
It's been surprisingly good. I know it sounds daft with players coming in and out, but we've had a core group of players who, a few players who've played every game, a few players who haven't, but we've had the core few players training every week. It's been a good atmosphere, and I feel like if it had been a normal year where we'd have been able to string performances and appearances together, everyone playing more consistently without COVID and injuries, we'd have done a little bit better this season.
So Liam, 19 years playing professional rugby league, come to an end today. How do you reflect on your career?
I've had a great time. It's all I ever wanted to do. I've managed to do it at a semi-pro level and a pro level for a long time, and I'm really grateful. I've just had fun, worked hard. I think I've worked hard. I think I've done all right in the teams I've played in, most of them, and my overriding thing is just I've enjoyed it, and still to this day struggle to comprehend that I've been paid to play rugby league for one game, never mind for nearly 20 years.
When you first started in the game, what were your sort of goals going forward? Did you have any, or have you completed them goals?
When I were younger, a lot of players at a different system, then there was no scholarship, and a lot of players were getting signed, and if you didn't get signed in the days, you stayed playing amateur, which I actually think should be the way forward, because it were right that I didn't get signed. I wasn't good enough, and there were a couple of other lads that we weren't good enough at the time, and we stayed and played amateur, and we weren't sort of led down the path that we were good enough to be professional, and we were in a system believing we were as good as players that had signed for Wigan or for Halifax, and we aspired to be like them, and people like Luke Robinson were signing for Wigan because he were good enough to sign for Wigan, and he was one of my best mates, and he was one of my heroes at the time. I'm thinking I want to do that, when I was left playing for Siddle and enjoying my rugby and not pretending that I was better than anything that I was, and conversely Luke had that sort of hype around him, and he had to make sure that he stayed on top of his game and made sure that nobody caught him up, and he did, and that's what I was aspiring to be. I was aspiring to be like him and like other players around me that had signed professional, and fortunately after a bit of time I managed to get that opportunity, and like I say, I've managed to sort of hang around long enough to get paid to play rugby, and I've loved every minute.
What are the times in your career that you've enjoyed the most? Anything that sticks out?
I really enjoyed the season in Dewsbury when we went unbeaten and we won the league. That was probably a kickstart of my career. I had a good season individually, and then it was just after I'd been to the 2008 World Cup, which I probably went to as a backup player, and unfortunately for Graham Allroyd, he got injured and I ended up playing and doing all right, and then kicked on the year after. after. That was a good year, and then 4 years at Featherstone were unbelievable. I had a great time. It was a great time in my life at home, and at rugby I was playing well, and we were playing well as a team. And I had the best coach of my career at that time. That was a great time, and then obviously that came to an end, and sort of they decided they didn't want me anymore, and the opportunity to go to Super League came up. So again, I really enjoyed that period at Castleford and getting the opportunity off Darryl. We had a great season there, and obviously moved to Wakefield, and I enjoyed that time. So I had a pretty good period from sort of that 3rd, 4th year at Dewsbury the first time, right through to when I finished playing Super League with Wakefield, where I really felt like I kept improving, and unfortunately for me, when I joined Dewsbury the first time around, it ended up being the best decision I ever made, because I ended up bumping into Ryan Sheridan, who just retired, and he'd gone on the coaching staff, and meeting him and working with him for 6-7 years he was the biggest influence on my career rugby wise. Taught me how to play a scrum half, taught me how to play hooker, taught me how to have the right attitude to training and to make the best of yourself. And I thank Ryan Sheridan for a lot of the things in my career. He was absolutely unbelievable for me, and it sort of coincided with the beginning of his coaching career. So I like to think I was a little bit of a project for him that helped him sort of teach himself how to coach, and I thank Ryan for that. He was unbelievable. And then obviously he went to work with Darryl, and then I worked with Paulie as well, and that was great, because he's a really good head coach, the best I've had, like I said, and it just coincided with keeping improving, and then obviously the last 3 years in Super League at Wakefield, where it were a little bit of just put into practice everything that you've learned under them, and try and get that across to the other lads. And yeah, and then coming back to Dewsbury to finish it off, where it didn't all start, but it sort of it's where it sort of kicked off properly to finish off. So I'm just really grateful for it all. Probably rambled on a little bit too much there, but I hope I got my point across. And yeah, the main thing is I've just enjoyed it all.
Do you have any thoughts what you're going to be doing now? Do you want to stay in the game, back room, or any thoughts on that?
Not really, no. I was sort of looking into coaching, and Wakefield gave me that opportunity a little bit on the staff, and I was really enjoying that, but that didn't sort of come to fruition properly, and sort of seeing the ways in and around it. That side of it's not quite as simple as being a player, where if you're good you play, if you're not good enough you don't. A little bit more politics going on, and people wanting their ego massaged a little bit, and I wasn't really buying into that game. It wasn't really for me, that side of it. So at the moment, no, I've not really got any plans, but I'm just going to enjoy some family time and enjoy looking back on the time I've had in rugby league, and hopefully watching some of the lads that I've played with that are still playing, and like Tom Garratt kicking on and playing in Super League, and I just want to watch those boys that they've got the rest of their careers ahead of them, and I just watching in awe of and envious of how good of a time they're having, and what a good lifestyle it is.
Yeah, you play in front of a lot of different fans, been at a lot of different clubs. Have you got a message for the fans that have been to watch you over the years?
Yeah. 99% of them have been unbelievable. They've been fantastic to me, and I've had a great time. All the clubs have got behind me and tried to encourage me the best they can, and just it's just been great. Rugby league people in general are fantastic out there. We all know that. They just down to earth people like we are as players, and it's just one of those sports where you can aspire to be whatever you want and get to wherever you want, and people will back you and get behind you because they are one of you. And all the clubs I've played at, fans have been outstanding.